President Trump says he was not happy with supporters chanting "Send her back" at his rally last night in an attack directed at Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Here's what the president said earlier today when pressed by a reporter.
These are people that love our country. I want them to keep loving our country. And I think the congresswomen, by the way, should be more positive than they are. The congresswomen have a lot of problems. When you look at the statements they made that were so bad and so horrible to our country, you look at what they said, John. What they said was something that it's hard to believe that they could make statements like that. And I could go page over page over page, many, many statements, whether it's about us, whether it's about Israel, whether it's about the World Trade Center, and all of the different things that were said. It was a very terrible thing. I'm not happy about when I hear a chant like that. And I've said that, and I've said it very strongly, but I will tell you, the congressmen and women also have a big obligation in this country, and in every country, frankly, but they have a big obligation. And the obligation is to love your country. There's such hatred. They have such hatred. I've seen statements that they made with such hatred toward our country. And I don't think that's a good thing. They should embrace our country.
The chant came just hours after the House overwhelmingly voted against an attempt to impeach the president over his racist remarks from the past week. Here's the moment the chant broke out when the president zeroed in on Congresswoman Omar.
She looks down with contempt on the hard-working Americans, saying that ignorance is pervasive in many parts of this country. Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
Let's bring in Nancy Cordes and Jill Colvin. Nancy is our CBS News chief congressional correspondent, and Jill is a White House reporter for the Associated Press. Welcome to both of you. Nancy, let me start with you. Congresswoman Omar reacted to the rally in a tweet saying, quote, "I am where I belong, at the People's House, and you're just going to have to deal." So do Democrats believe that it helps them for the president's attacks to continue?
I don't think that they find it helpful in any way. In fact, some Democrats have expressed an interest today in introducing legislation to step up security for certain lawmakers like Ilhan Omar, who are so frequently being targeted by this president. And Omar, we caught up with her a short time ago outside the Capitol, and she said that she doesn't fear for her own safety, but she does fear for the millions of people who look like her or who, like her, are refugees to this country, because she says when the president talks that way about her, he's really talking that way about all people who look like her. Now, some Republicans are pushing back. We did hear from Lindsey Graham earlier today. He said the president clearly isn't racist because he doesn't dislike all Somalis. He wouldn't want all Somali refugees to go back to their country, just this one. To which Omar responded when she was asked about it. So if I criticize the president, then I need to be deported. So this is the back and forth that is taking place right now. A number of Republicans have expressed deep discomfort with the fact that this chant started up at all. And I think you can see just from watching the video that what the president claimed, which is that he moved on very quickly after that chant started, and that he was very unhappy with it, is simply not the case. He paused for something like 10 seconds, sort of drank it in and smiled before he picked up with his speech again.
Right. And so, Jill, as Nancy just mentioned, and we mentioned earlier, and we heard the president just moments ago saying he disagreed with those "send her back" chants and that he says he wasn't happy about them. Why might he be walking those back when, as Nancy noted, he did seem to be drinking them in last night?
He absolutely did. I mean, you counted. It was a good 10, 13 seconds that he stood there as he listened to his crowd, echoing back almost the very words that he tweeted on Sunday when he started this whole brouhaha by suggesting that these 4 members of Congress, all American citizens, 3 of whom were born in the U.S., should go back to their countries. We have not, I mean, as you said, this was just a couple of minutes ago that the president made this reversal, which I imagine surprised a number of people, including in the building behind me. We it could potentially be a reaction to some of the criticism this morning. Although Republicans did eventually come around, many did, to criticizing the president's remarks, despite the fact that many also said that they didn't believe that they were racist. You did hear some criticism this morning with people saying that they didn't think that that chant was appropriate and they wish that that had not happened. So it's possible that the president is responding to some of that criticism that maybe he's seen on the news this morning, but we'll see. I think you also have a situation here where the president seems to be trying to play both sides. You know, on one hand, he wants to keep energized the kind of base supporters who broke into that chant at that rally. It was just a number of things that were shouted from the floor there at that arena in North Carolina. So he wants to keep those people happy. He really has to keep energizing them. Got a long way to go before November, before the 2020 election. He needs to keep them excited. At the same time, he wants to put some distance between their reaction, between his remarks, so that he can look as though he's taking the high road at the same time.
All right, Nancy Cordes and Jill Colvin in Washington, thanks to both of you.
You're welcome.